Welcome to Showing Missouri Rivalries. This week we are in South Iron, Annapolis, Missouri with the back-to-back state championship basketball Panthers, joined by DJ Prater, a senior on the team. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
And where are you heading to?
I'm going to Three Rivers College.
Three Rivers, Coach Best, right?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Drennan Dinkins, that Dinkins is a name a lot of folks that watch this are going to know. Tell us about yourself, Drennan.
I was a senior on this back-to-back state championship basketball team, and I'm going to be attending Southwest Baptist next year.
Coach Dusty Dinkins, now let me just make sure I got this straight. You are a South Iron grad, right? Came back home. Now you're the basketball coach of the back-to-back state champions of your high school team. That's almost like a fairy. It's almost like a movie or something.
It's been a great experience. These guys work really hard. I've been here 19 years, and it's just been such a fantastic journey. Being able to be here for so long, a place that I grew up and very fond of, have great memories here, and now able to make those memories a coach and trying to pass that down to these young fellows is just an exciting experience for me, myself personally.
Break this down for me first. So this starts, the tradition here goes a long way back. You were a guy from here. Where'd you grow up at around here?
I grew up here right in town. My dad was actually a high school counselor. My mom was an elementary teacher. My dad also was a used car salesman. He had a little used car sales lot down here. And
Does that help coaching a little bit? Maybe having a little bit of polish of you?
The psychology sure
salesman,
did.
Yeah.
You know, as far as counselor, and he was big in the psychology type of stuff. That really helped. But his brother owned the local hardware parts store here in town. So the Dinkins have been around here for quite some time, and it was a nice place to live back then, and it is still today.
All right, let's talk about the season. So you started with districts, right? District championship game, where was that at?
It was at Bunker High School, and we were playing Bunker.
At Bunker, playing Bunker. That's got to be intimidating, right? Bunker had to be packed, didn't it?
It was packed out.
And loud, probably.
Yes, sir, it really was.
That's got to be fun, though. That's when you look back on your high school career, a night like that, to where you go into a hostile gym that's totally full. You probably had your fans there, but probably a little more Bunker folks, right?
A little bit more.
And there's no straight road to get to Bunker, so and then you go in and you win the game. Tell me about the game, Drennan.
Well, we started off a little rough, and we just kept battling through the adversity, and we ended up actually.
I heard you were down 7 or 8, like the third quarter, right?
We were down 7 in the third quarter, and we just battled back and found a way to win.
All right, Coach, what do you tell the boys when you're down? Hostile gym, loud gym, you're state champions, everybody's gunning for you. You know they'd love to end your season. What do you tell the boys when you're down?
Just stay the course and just stay positive and work together. We've really challenged these groups of young men these last 4 years and have played some high-level competition where 2 years ago, the group that won our first state championship, we played CBC, Cardinal Ritter, some really tough teams, Vashon.
How do you get them to play you? When you call up and you're from South Iron, that's got to be, when you first start playing those teams, you're going to be like, now where's that again? How do you start that relationship that has play those top teams to get to sharpen your skills?
Well, we had some players play on the AAU circuit out of St. Louis, and they kind of knew us. And then when COVID hit, that really cut their schedule down where they couldn't travel. And so they were looking for good competition locally where they could get to and play. And we were, on that docket, so to speak, and they called us up and we wanted to play them. And
that's interesting.
And that, as playing these larger schools and Class 5s, Class 6s over the years, we've learned how to battle in tough situations. Sure. and stay focused on being together and working together and things will work out if we try to do the right thing. And that's kind of just what happened in that district championship game.
How'd you do against some tough teams?
Actually, we played them really well.
Yeah.
They were close games. The Vashon game got a little away from us in the fourth quarter, but we actually went to CBC and beat CBC 2 years ago, and that was kind of a big deal around the state.
Kind of cool, right?
Oh yeah.
And you go around. You've looked at some other colleges. CBC's known as one of the top athletic high schools. You go in their home court and beat them. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it was a remarkable feeling. It was awesome.
All right, so you're down at Bunker. You tell the boys to stay together. I guess it turned out with a win, right?
It did, and it was a great team win. We have 3 seniors on this year's squad that really led us and did a great job of being leaders on the team, but actually had underclassmen step up and make some shots for us in the third and fourth quarter that kind of got us back going and got us ahead, and it was just a tremendous team win and good for our young teammates, our young players. That's what you want to see throughout the season. You want to see the growth, you want to see the senior leadership, and then the young players stepping in later in the season and making their mark.
I'm German, so we do Schadenfreude, which is enjoy when we beat someone they hate it. It's got to be good leaving bunker, full gym, knowing that we beat you. We're going back on our way back to the state title. It's got to feel good, right?
It did. It felt great. Really, just all that adversity you think about throughout the season and just coming through with the win. It was just a great feeling.
It's awesome. So as you go back through, you played a lot of Southeast Missouri teams to get through sectionals, right?
Well, we played Chadwick over at West Plains, and they're a little bit south and west, but we beat them at West Plains. And then in the quarterfinal game, we played Leopold at Van Buren, and Leopold had, I think, their most historic year ever this year. They had a really nice team, had 2 really good seniors.
The gym at Van Buren's kind of a cool place to play it. It's a little bit sunken in. I mean, it's just it's a tight. The crowd's right on top of you. I mean, every high school gym's that way. Van Buren's a little more that way, right?
Yes, it's a great environment for high school basketball, especially small class basketball. I don't remember what it seats, 1,800, and it's packed, and it really has a great atmosphere, and they do a great job of hosting. And it was a great game. We jumped out to a really good lead early on, and just was able to cruise after that.
So after you get to Leopold, now we're getting into sectionals. You play St. Elizabeth. Tell me about you go to state, right?
Yeah.
Now, you go to Columbia for that, Springfield?
It's in Springfield now at the JQH, and we played St. Elizabeth in the semifinals, and it was just a really, really good game for us. St. Elizabeth has been to the Final Four 3 or 4 years in a row, and they have a really good senior guard that's actually going to go and pitch at Mizzou next year. And it was a great challenge for us, but our guys were ready to go, and we jumped out, and we ended up winning that game by 30 plus.
All right, Drennan. I mean, you get there, like, we're going to get off to a hot start. This is a good team. I heard you blew the gym at them, right? You blew them out.
Yeah. I mean, we were there last year, so I mean, we kind of knew what to expect and how to get ready and prepare for them. So we
about
just
the team aspect of that. I mean, I was from Neelyville, small school. You go and it's kind of neat. You get to go stay in a hotel with your buddies, get on the bus. Everybody else has to be in school. You're going and traveling. The whole town's behind you. But you go get to hang out with your buddies in Columbia. Like that's kind of fun. That's kind of stuff you remember, right?
Right. There's a lot of great memories that went along with that, and to capitalize and just win state 2 years in a row, it just made it even better.
Tell me about that. You get to stay in a hotel, right? All your buddies are there. Get to run around maybe campus a little bit down in Springfield, but it's a fun environment, right?
Yes, sir. It really is a fun environment. But the main goal is still the main goal.
Sure.
So it's a business trip, really.
I like that. It's a business trip.
Yes, sir.
So, Coach, tell about the state final game.
Well, we played Stanberry in the state finals, and they had 2 twin brothers that were around 6'4", 6'5", that are really talented, have a really, really good basketball team, well coached. Coach has been there for quite some time and won a state championship. But our guys did a really good job of coming out early, and Drennan got rolling early, and guys found him, and he ended up in the first half just setting the tone for us. And
tell
went
me
off.
about your first half. I've heard about this.
I scored 29 points in the first half, 2 away from the state
Stanberry
record.
scored like 45 the whole game, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the first half, that's record, second best maybe? Got to be, but an amazing they'd come out hot like that.
Yeah.
Your last high school game, either way, win or lose, this is your last time you're taking the court as a high school guy. Go out there and 20, 29, right out in the first half. That's great, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
Were you just hot? What happened?
Yeah, I got hot, and my teammates found me, and I just
You'd think Stanberry would find you. Want to know what's this guy doing?
Yeah, well, in the second half, they started double teaming me, so yeah.
But still got to feel a little bit good when you get double teamed, right?
Yeah,
State
for
finals,
sure, yeah.
That's not bad.
For sure.
What'd you end up with?
Probably 35 points, something like that.
They knew they might get beat, but you're not going to beat them,
Right.
Well, that's the nice thing about this basketball team was whenever they came out and played a triangle on 2 and put 2 guys on Drennan, and we were in the driver's seat up 20 plus at that time, he just made sure that his teammates carried the load from there and didn't want to try to do anything personally to try to let me go out and try to get 50 or something like that. No, it was about winning a state title. And that was a real, just a pat on the back to Drennan for having that mindset. Hey guys, I got 2 on me, you 4, go take it against those 3, and let's get this thing done.
Let's pretend it's just the three of us and the camera. He's not here. What's it like playing for your dad?
It's honestly a little rough at times, but
I think so.
But it's a great experience. I wouldn't trade it.
You're to practice on time, I assume.
Yep. Early.
And you don't leave early.
No, last one. Yep.
That's something you'll always remember, though, getting to play for your dad, having the success you've had. That's a great thing. And a tradition in town like that, that's got to feel a little bit, it's got to feel a little pressure probably, but it's also got to feel good, especially when you succeed like you have.
Well, you might ask DJ the same question because DJ and Brennan have been classmates ever since kindergarten, and they were inseparable. And I took them all over the place, watching games and watching like Jason Tatum playing at Chaminade and Porter playing at Father Tolton, and DJ. I've tried to kind of treated him like my own at times too. So it's pretty rough on him too.
Let's act like just the two of us here. Don't worry about that camera. What is it like for Brennan playing for his dad?
I mean, in practice, it got a little rough sometimes, I'd say. But he's hard on me, too. So we both just try to talk it out and try to get through it.
Well, it looks like it worked out, right?
It did, yes, sir.
You're going to school for free with 2 state titles. That's not bad.
Yes, sir, it did.
Tell me about that. How do you manage that? I mean, having your son being a really talented player on the team, wonderful thing to have talent on the team, wonderful thing to have at your side. You got to feel proud. But I guess there's all sorts of issues about how you lead the team with one of your best players being your son. That's a delicate balance, right?
It has been, but it's a tribute to the guys that are on the team. The 3 seniors we had this year and the 3 seniors we had last year, those 6 guys were really tight, really close, really had their eyes open and pretty mature about all of this, and were just really close. And they made coaching so much easier. They all had high expectations, a high work ethic, and just wanted to really see how good they could be together, and great friendships. There wasn't, any of that looking at, oh, so-and-so's doing this and I need to do that. And there wasn't that. It was a brotherhood, and it made my job so much easier.
It's a great thing. There's no better way to make a lifelong friend than high school athletics, is there?
Right.
The people on that team you're going to know the rest of your life, whether it's following them on Facebook and following up with them, if it's sending them a birthday message, those relationships will never end, will they?
For sure, like you said, we had a really close bond, and it'll last forever.
Nothing like accomplishing something as a team to just take you to a different level of friendship, right?
Right. It's just not even friendship no more. It's just family. So you can think it like that, and you guys can get through anything.
Speaking of the family aspect of this, Coach, I mean, you're a product of Annapolis. You're a product of South Iron Schools. Tell me about the history of this program. It goes back to when there was consolidation. You guys have been winning for a long time.
Yes, Des Arc and Annapolis consolidated in the South Iron High School back around 1960. And when that consolidation occurred, we had a window of about 4 or 5 years where there was some outstanding basketball played here. Gene Cozine came in, was the coach here, and we had 3 years where we made it to the state championship game in a row, taking second twice and then 1 state championship. And I think there's only been 1 other school, maybe 2, it could be Vashon and Scott County, that has ever put 3 30-year win seasons in a row together. So it started then and has carried on, and some of those same bloodlines, some of those same families are still here today, contributing to our success, and it's been a wonderful journey, and it's really important for our community, basketball and our school.
Tell me about that. When you guys, I mean, some schools, when they go to a Final Four, that's the first time in a generation they went. Does it get a little bit, not to say old hat, but I mean, what is the send-off when you guys win districts or sectionals? What is the community like?
Oh, our community support has been tremendous. We have got great local support here with our businesses and our families. Actually, when you go to the state tournament now, the school has to fund that whole trip. You have to pay for your hotels and your meals and all of that, and that's quite a burden to do that. And we always have a fundraiser and a pie auction before we go to the Final Four, and our community just comes out and supports us, with their pocketbooks open, so to speak, and has really done a great job of funding these guys and helping them, and it's just been so fantastic financially that they've been able to help us cover expenses as well as the support on the court. And like this year, t-shirt sales and all that stuff. We have people from all over the state calling and wanting some South Iron gear. So it's really cool.
Brennan, tell me about it. When you leave out, what's it like in the community? What's it like at the school?
It's awesome. I mean, everywhere you go, they're asking about how next year's team's going to be, and just like reminiscing on the past couple of years.
So, do you tell me? You go to get on the bus to go to Springfield. What's the community like?
So they're all just out there, and you think about it, like throughout the last 2 years or 4, they're supporting you wherever you go. They're traveling with us every place we go. So it's just a lot of love you feel.
As this is personal for you. This is your family's legacy, history. How do you pass that on to underclassmen as you're going to play college ball now?
Just try to teach them the way, so to speak, and just show them how much hard work it took, and just hopefully they carry the torch, so to speak.
How do you pass this along? It's such a special thing at South Iron. How do you hand that down?
It's just try to leadership and just try to do things where they can learn from it and just try to repeat it year after year.
You might show back up in the gym one afternoon, show them how it's done, right? You're not that far away, right?
Right. So
Coach, just in closing, I mean, what a special thing that's passed down to you that you passed down to your son. How do you instill that in these boys and continue what is now a multi-generational tradition of just success and community here at South Iron?
And I think it's just showing up every day, being committed to trying to do the right thing. No matter if you're having a good day, a bad day, you're feeling good, you're feeling bad, you show up and you put in the work and try to treat people the right way and make the right decisions and do the right thing and do it together. And also understand that there's going to be challenges, but if everybody's heart's in it and everyone really believes that each other really cares deeply enough for each other, that great things can happen and you can overcome adversity and obstacles. And that's what's needed today, in my opinion, is we need more people that can handle challenges, that can overcome things that they think that they might not be able to, but if you just put one foot in front of the other, you can do it. Don't look too far down the road, look what you can do today. And these guys have done that over and over and over again, and I'm so proud of them.
Coach Diggins, thank you so much for the hospitality.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Be right back. We're going to bring in the school board president, Lindsay Middleton, Representative Diggins, and the superintendent to talk all things about Annapolis and the community that built this terrific back-to-back state championship team after this. Welcome back to Show Missouri Rivalries. This time we're in Annapolis, Missouri. South Iron Panthers, back-to-back state championship team. Representative Chris Diggins, everybody's going to know this name. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be here, Scott.
And you have a son some folks that watch this might know. Which team was he on?
He was on the 2008 team that come in second.
Probably doesn't stop talking about it, does he?
Oh, no.
Lindsay Middleton, the school board president, thank you so much for the hospitality.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
And the superintendent, Don Wakefield, thank you for having us, sir.
Thank you.
You've been entrusted with quite a tradition with this athletic program. Tell us about what the athletic program means to the school.
Athletic program means so much to the school. We have such a following of students. Our community backs them. When we go play on the road, town pretty well shuts down. It means a bunch.
It's awesome. Well, when folks in the gym, about how many do you have?
Oh, I would say we'd probably have 200 to 300 nightly.
That's amazing. What's the population of Annapolis?
A little over 300.
Yeah. That's what Representative, it is such an interesting thing how when you think back at high schools in Missouri, when you think back at small towns in Missouri, you think of the high schools and the things that brought everybody together and experiences like the ones they have at South Iron. It really is a thing that brings folks together in a rural community.
It certainly is. Being from Neelyville like yourself, our rural communities, sports is the heart and soul of the community, and people it's the activity of the year to come out and watch these big games, and they watch them all season long, and when they have the opportunity to see a district game or a state playoff game or a Thanksgiving tournament game, it's a big deal.
So tell me about it. About the experience of a mother who's taking her son to the practices, right? Taking her son to you get in the car when there's districts, you go. When there's a road game, you go. It's a commitment of the players for sure in the school and the community, but it's a commitment of the parents, right?
Oh, it's a big commitment for the parents, and especially as we're seeing high gas prices today. Sometimes you have 2-a-day practices. Sometimes before school and sometimes after school and weekends, holidays. It's a big commitment. Cuts into family time sometimes, but then on the other hand, it brings the families together as you're going to the games and picking up grandma and grandpa and aunt and uncle and traveling around the communities.
But I mean, looking back, your sons that have been part of these teams, you wouldn't change anything, would you?
Oh, I certainly would not.
Lindsay, tell me about about how important this is. As someone elected by the community to serve, you're entrusted with this tremendous responsibility and opportunity to be here and to oversee the school. What does this mean to the community?
I think it's so important to them. I mean, I've been on the school board 2 years. I'm actually from Clearwater. I love the school there, but I was always a little bit jealous of the family feel at South Iron. Yeah. And now I get to be a part of that and have a little bit of purpose here at South Iron and watch my husband coach and watch my kids get to know these players, get to know the coaches, get to know the staff, the
First
community.
of all, now
It's
that
been
you're
wonderful.
South Iron, you don't have to worry about those boys from Neelyville coming up once a year, right?
No, we do not have to worry about Neelyville
You probably didn't
anymore.
worry about them anyway.
Sometimes we did, yeah.
Let me tell me though, that's such an interesting thing. You're a professional in the community. What do you do when you're not being school board president?
I'm a pharmacist in Piedmont.
Which is more than a full-time job, especially these days, probably getting more so. Tell me about having a husband that is an assistant coach here.
I have a lot of quality time with my kids,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. And, you know, we have an 18-month-old and a 5-year-old, and so now we can kind of get out and enjoy the games more. And I think what people don't know is that these boys and these coaches and this community, what this team has done is given us so many moments and memories with my kids, with siblings, with older folks. There's a man that has passed on, but Johnny Huff, you would never catch him not at a game.
That's
he was
awesome.
always visiting with friends and visiting with family here, and would love to watch these kids compete. And when my kids would walk by, he would talk to them every time, and you see that generation watching these games, and you see little kids with jerseys on of their favorite player. I mean, Drennan Dinkins, DJ Champ, Gabe Rubel, they're all Michael Jordans in these kids' eyes.
That's
so
awesome.
being able to be a part of something like that is something I've never experienced before, so it's pretty neat.
Tell me, Mr. Wakefield, how do you balance that? I mean, you've got this tremendous opportunity, responsibility, culture that you've created, but the kids got to hit the books too, right?
Absolutely. I think they go hand in hand. You've got kids that with a mentality of work hard, and I think it bleeds from the books to the game, from the game to the books. I think they go hand in hand. You see a lot of our athletes that are some of our highest level students as well.
And you don't ever hear South Iron having a problem. And if you don't hit those books, you're not going to hit that court, right?
Exactly.
Tell us from a mom perspective. If you don't hit those books, you're not playing, right?
Definitely. And I know Coach Dinkins has always has a banner that says the academic sports person. So they're, what's it called? The academic all-state. So, you know, he puts emphasis on that as well as the athletics. And it's very important. I have 2 of his players working for me right now. And, you know, work ethic rolls over from the court to the workforce, and you see that in
Do you
teams.
really tell that as a business, as a person that owns a business, has to run a business? You hire an athlete, you know if they've made it through this program and they've graduated, they know how to show up on time, and probably if they didn't, they'd be pretty skinny from running laps, right?
Exactly. So it does bleed over, and it's, you know, work ethic is very important, and it's from the court where they learn to work together as a team and over into the workforce as they move on from school.
Lindsay, I saw these signs up that were still up that said, support the Panthers or Panther Pride. I saw 4 or 5 of them still up, and this has been a while since the season ended. That's an interesting culture that has those signs up everywhere. That's got to feel tremendous for players and someone like yourself. I mean, not that many people get to be the school board president, especially in these times, of a community that loves their school.
Right. No, it's neat. One of the classes started selling those signs, and I think they still sell signs, and they're all over. And just the level of success day in and day out that South Iron has, not only in sports, but I think it trickles everywhere. We are improving academically. We are Beta Club won nationals, so it's not just sports. It's our different clubs, our different groups. All that bleeds, all that success, all that culture that has cultivated with our sports programs has bled into the school, and it's just habit, really, to walk in and know that you can accomplish something and win something.
So tell us about the academics here. Tell us about, I saw when you walk in, there's this terrific trophy case. Folks can't see, but matching across the room is another trophy case that's full, not even of district championships, but of state championships and things. But I see a banner hanging up about senior beta. Tell us about the academics here at South Iron.
Yeah, our senior beta last year went to nationals, and in the division they was competing in, won nationals. So that was a big deal, huge. Because like she had said, that they all bleed over into each other. Success breeds success, and academics here. We have a lot of good students. We are a small school. We're not able to offer some of the classes that we would like due to enrollment, but the teachers we have put everything into it, and the students as well.
Let's talk about it as time goes on. I've seen a lot of folks talk about a way to maybe teach trigonometry, but teach it in a virtual setting. I mean, here at the school, you probably have the ability to do that. How are some of those things? What would that mean to hear if throughout the state of Missouri you could pull together and maybe offer some of those classes that, like you said, are just not possible with the enrollment?
I think that you're going to see that in the future. I know at one time that they did that through video, and I see that coming back.
I mean, look, I've heard a lot of people talk about virtual schools, and I don't think you probably had a lot of that here because, I mean, folks don't have internet yet here to do that. But there are, I have seen some rural schools that say, we'd love to be able to offer trigonometry, calculus or whatever, but we don't necessarily have, the enrollment has only 1 or 2 kids that could take it. Is there technology coming, you think, that you could feel comfortable with that would help a place like this be able to take any class you want?
I think it's coming. I think it's, down the road a little bit in some of our rural areas, but I think they're already doing it in some of the bigger areas with more of like college type classes. Mm-hmm. But I think we'll see more and more of that come into our rural small schools.
Tell us about coming from Clearwater. Folks that don't know the geography, we're in kind of southeast Missouri, maybe in the northwest corner of southeast Missouri. Clearwater's a little further south here on Clearwater Lake in Piedmont, Missouri. Tell us about going to that school and becoming a pharmacist. What was your trip like?
Honestly, I had a great experience at Clearwater. It's just like here. It's you don't have everything that big private schools have, but they had enough, and the teachers really care, and that's why I love it at South Iron. I mean, these teachers, these staff members, they look out for our kids. We discipline our kids. We do things the right way, and that's where I came from too, at Clearwater. And sometimes it looks like a bigger city because we have one stoplight and we have a couple restaurants. But like I said, I enjoyed my time there, but I love being a part of South Iron. I like being a part of this culture. They're just great.
Mr. Wade, but tell me, you got kids that come through here that move on to college. You might not have some of those courses, but you also don't have, we're reading the news all the time now about problems they have in city schools. Some of those things you don't have to have here either, right?
No. We don't have the issues that you hear about on TV. Parents are involved. Teachers demand respect.
How important is that when you have parents involved?
It's huge.
I mean, these kids can't show up to these practices and games on their own. Right? Somebody has to bring them here. Somebody has to come pick them up. Somebody has to sacrifice to send them to these trips and stuff. It seems to me the quotient that you might see is parental involvement, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, more parental involvement you see, the better the student, the better the athlete, and the better the person.
You get to see folks from all over the state. Everybody loves to talk about education. I always think that one thing people don't maybe talk about enough is I had a dad that would have literally just tanned my hide if I wasn't where I was supposed to be at a certain time, right? That makes a difference.
It certainly makes a difference, and we see that in all our rural communities. Like Lindsay mentioned, being from Clearwater, I too am a Clearwater graduate. Actually, graduated with her mother, and her father was great ahead of me. So, the small town communities and parents are very involved. It's very important. There's a large percentage of students who participate in sports because of how small the school is. And when you have a K-12 school, the little kids, like she's even mentioning, her 18-month-olds, they know these players, and these little kids, they're wanting their autographs. They're their heroes, and so they look up to them. So it's important that they do good academically, and that the parents do support the student as well as the coach in these.
Lindsay, tell me about that. You've got 2 kids. They're young, they come up, they see these other kids wanting these autographs of these high school players. They're going to be the same way. How important is it that the kids they're getting those autographs from are good school citizens too?
Well, I mean, it's everything to them. My husband, he will actually tear up when he talks about DJ and Drennan and this team, because and even the girls basketball team. I mean, they're very successful. And my daughter, I mean, he wants Reagan to end up like Inslee Dinkins on and off the court, just because they are good kids, and Reagan, that's our best friend. That's our best big friend, she says. And it's so important that these high school kids step up and do the right thing. And that's what we have here at South Iron. We have kids that are not afraid to say, hey, you know, this is the right way and this is the wrong way. And that's what we are training our kids. And we can say it over and over again as parents, but when they see kids doing the right thing all the time, or even if they don't do things the right way all the time, just accepting that and asking, you know, hey, I'm sorry, you know, and just seeing that good example, that's everything you could ask for in a parent. And that's a lot of the reason why we're here, is because this type of atmosphere at a school district is very unique nowadays.
We're not going to top that. Representative, thank you for the hospitality. Mr. Wakefield, thank you so much for having us. Congratulations to both you and Lindsay. Back-to-back state champions here at South Iron.
Thank you.
See you next week. Show Missouri rivalries.